I hereby summon all my imps. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. We're going to discuss the other cards that are not the Death Knight cards that came out in this patch notes, because there are some other cards that came out and that were not Death Knight cards. They came out in this patch notes. For everybody who doesn't remember, I kind of just do a quick review on everything here that has not a star rating. So we're going to start off here on the first one that is in my review of cards here. So we already talked about Patchworks, we already talked about Ward, we already talked about the Celical Sidekick. Dark Transformation, which is one more of the Death Knight cards here. This is a Death Knight card, so this is a 2 mana, 1 unholy card that has a spell, which is a shadow spell, which transforms an undead into a 4/5 undead with rush. Now, what's important to know about this particular card is the fact that this is your undead minion, or it can be one of your opponent's undead minions. It does not care. So what you can do is on turn 2, if you have 4 mana, you can make your 1/1, hit for 2, and then transform it into a 4/5 before it dies. That's a very interesting way of getting a card out, getting some damage in, and then having a nice card left. Or if you have an undead that still has some life left on it, which is weird to say. You can trade it and turn it into 4/5. Or let's say your opponent has this ridiculous 100 undead minion. You can make it into a 4/5 and then kill it. So I'm going to give this a very useful card out of more niche, more tech. We talked about Army of the Undead in the Death Knight reveal. We're going to talk about Arcane Quiver here. Arcane Quiver is a 2 mana Hunter spell, which is arcane, which is discover a spell from your deck. If it's arcane, give it spell damage +1. So this is a way to tutor for 2, but it doesn't do anything by itself. So you discover a card for 2. If it's anything that's arcane, so you're always looking for your arcane spell, it gets +1 spell damage. So if it normally did 5, it'll now do 6. The problem is that's wasting 2 mana just to basically do nothing. So be careful about this. It's a way to get you a spell, and do remember that Defend the Dwarven District is still in the game right now. So I'll give this a decently good card, and remember that the Dwarven District is still in the game. Here is Arcane Defender, the next one that we're going to talk about, which is an 8 mana mage spell that says summon 2 5/6 golems with taunt that can't be the target of spells or abilities. This card doesn't need to exist. There's no reason this card needs to exist. It's going to go into big spell mage if it goes into anywhere. But 2 5/6s for 8 is almost nothing. You don't care if they can't be targeted by spells or abilities. Nobody cares. So I'm going to give this a quick, way too expensive for what it does. Next one that we're going to talk about is another Death Knight card. Which is Vampiric Blood, which is a 3 blood, so you have to be completely in blood if you want to use this card at all. So if you play this, you can't play anything but blood. It is give your hero plus 5 health. Spend 3 corpse to gain 5 more. Now, just so that everybody is aware, this does not heal you for 5. It gives you plus 5 health. So, if you are playing 2 of these in your deck, plus you are playing the Prince Renathal and going up to a 40 card deck, which you can do, since Prince Renathal is neutral. And if you get both of these with 3 corpses in your graveyard when you play both of them, you are going to have 60 health to play with. So for all of you who are upset with 40 health card decks, there are now going to be 60 health card decks. Now this one has to go completely into blood, so you're wasting a lot of maybe some other interesting and good cards. But that's a lot of health to get chunked through. And it's a cheap mana cost. So I will give that a bigger roll than you think for a cheaper cost than maybe it should be. Next up for us is going to be Unliving Champion. Unliving Champion is a 3 mana shaman card that is 3/2, so River Crocodile sets. If a friendly undead died after last turn, summon 2 3/2 zombies. So it's kind of got the elemental thing going with it, where last turn an undead had to die, which is, again, a weird statement to say. So last turn, if an undead died, you get to summon 2 3/2 zombies in addition to this. So this can be a big stat bomb, but only if something died that was undead last turn. That's a really weird statement to say. So if you play this on 3, and let's say somebody kills this on 3, and then you play another one on 4, you basically get 3 3/2s. So I'm going to give that a very scary, way easier to play than you might think. Okay. Next card that we're going to talk about is the Sentinel. The Sentinel is the card that you can log in right now and get for free. Anybody who logs in today will get the Sentinel. It is a 9 mana legendary neutral spell, the first neutral spell, period. And this fills your hand with random spells that cost 1 less for each other card in your hand. So this card becomes cheaper and cheaper the more cards that you have in your hand. So if you have 4 cards in your hand, This is a 5 mana card. And you will fill your hand up to the max hand size, which is 10. And then those cards stay in your hand for the rest of the game. Very expensive, but not as expensive as you think at times. Having 2-3 cards can bring this down pretty well. The problem is you lose a draw, but you might be not carrying them. You lose a draw, and these are random spells. And generally speaking, random spells don't work the best with your deck. And that's what you always gotta remember, is that completely random spells, you've got stuff that's gonna work well with your deck, and you've got stuff that's gonna not work with your deck in any way, shape, or form. The next card that we have up for us is the Fairy Quarry, which is a 3 mana neutral minion with the new keyword that's coming out in this set, which is called Mana Thirst. So what this card does is, on turn 3, if you play it on turn 3, it restores 3 health to all friendly characters, your minions and yourself. On turn 6, this restores 6 health to all your minions and yourself, but it still only costs 3 mana. This is part of what I was talking about when I was talking about what I thought was going to come out with Gilneas. So I almost predicted this with Gilneas, where you would have an ability where later down the road it would do you more good. But the mana cost stays the same. So, because these cards are going to be interesting to see, because they're good on turn 3, and then they're still good on turn 6. And they kind of don't lose that power, and they stay at 2-4, but it helps heal you for more. So later down the road, you can actually get more health off of this, which is when you need the health. The next card that we're going to get is the Street Sweeper, which is a 4 mana 2/2, which has Battle Cry, deal 2 damage to all other minions. That's your minions, that's your opponent's minions. It's an AoE, it's a Hellfire. It only deals with minions. It keeps itself up. This card is very weird for 3 mana. For 4 mana, sorry. This is actually a 4 mana card. And to play 4 mana, just to do that, there's so many better cards that you can play for a 2/2. It's not even good stats. I don't think this card is going to see any play unless it's for some sort of achievement, honestly. So I'm going to give this a way over cost for way too little power. Next one up for us is going to be the Silvermoon Sentinel, which is a 3 mana 2/5 that has Taunt. And if you get to turn 8, if you have 8 mana crystals, it's still 3 mana, but it gains +2/+2, so it becomes a 4/7 and gets Divine Shield. And generally good card. 2/5 with Taunt is basically where you want to be on 3. It's even a little low for 3. You almost want a 2/6 on 3. Hang on, it's 1/3 for 1, 2/4 for 2, 3/5 for 3. So it's basically where it needs to be. One less on the attack, but a nice filler card a way to get some early game taunt. The game has needed some defense and some taunt. A little heavy on the mana thirst. I won't lie that, but a little heavy on the mana thirst. To get this to turn 8, because between 3 and 8, this really falls off. So I will give this a between 3 and 8, this really falls off. Next card up for us is the Silver Fury Stalwart, which is a 6 mana warrior card. You know, warrior who's been struggling so much in the last couple episodes, it's not even funny. 4/6 with taunt and rush and can't be targeted by hero powers or spells. Why? Why? Just why? This card could be a 4, and I wouldn't struggle with this card being a 4. This card could almost be a 3, and I don't think it would hurt to have this be a 3. Why are you making Warrior suffer so much? This is way overcosted for his status. If this was just a 6 mana 4/8, that would basically be vanilla. That would basically be the correct stats for this. And that would be horrible stats for this. 8 would become 7. So this would be a 5/7. This would be a 6/6. So this is a 6/6 for 6. Taunt doesn't really matter. Rush really doesn't help you out. This is a vanilla static card with just some flavor text thrown in. That does nothing. So I'm giving this a vanilla static card with flavor text thrown in. Okay. There's a whole lot to go over here. So I might break this into 2 for just a second. We're going to stop here and we're going to do a second one for the rest of these because this one's getting kind of long. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.